Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel and happy new year, happy new decade. It is 2020. My mind is blown officially. So I just wanted to come on real quick and show you block number 7 in my crazy quilt travel theme thing, my travel theme crazy quilt. I partied too much last night, maybe, I don't know, I can't talk. Anyway, so for those of you who have been following along, you know this is block number 7 and you've seen the other 6 blocks. If this is the first video that you're seeing, you might want to go back and look at the others. But I decided to do a crazy quilt on the Grand Tour. You know, that's the theme of it, and it's in kind of pinks and peaches and a little bit of blue, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So anyway, this black is not quite as extravagant, I don't think, as some of the others, but that's okay because you know, that's fine to have a balance. So without further ado, I will get started. So this black is pink. It's pretty pink. She's pink, so my intentions were to have some pretty heavy pinks in here. So I'll start in this corner, I guess. So in this corner, look at that. I actually got the right direction the first try. In this corner, we have some yo-yos that I made. I made this one out of coordinating, excuse me, coordinating fabric that's at the bottom of the block. And I did some peach to try to tone down some of the pink. And I did one in blue to kind of balance the blues on the block. And I put in this applique, I guess, is what you would call that. And then I did some sequins around it and 2 antique buttons. This button is extremely old. I want to say it's an Art Deco button from like the 20s. Excuse me. And then this is 2. I'm not sure if that is Bakelite or exactly what that is, but it came from the same older woman that I got a lot of my buttons from. So and then here I did feather stitch and a buttonhole stitch, and then here's some antique tatting. Let's see, over here is some embroidery that I did in blue with some beads. These are, I think, size 6s, and these are 11s. I'm not really sure what these stitches are called. They're just crazy quilt standbys, I can tell you that. I've, you know, been doing them for years. They're a lot of fun because you can kind of take them out into the block and not just put them on a seam. So those kind of stitches are fun. This gorgeous piece here, and I've got quite a bit of it, is from the lace that my daughter used to make her wedding dress. So when she picked it out, and I had been collecting fabrics and laces and stuff for this quilt, and she picked that out, and I said, oh, can we just buy maybe like an extra quarter of a yard? Because I would really like to have some of that. So anyway, yeah, and it's just beautiful, and she beaded on it and everything for her wedding dress. And here I did a small button cluster here. This is not an old button. This one is. That's really old. These 2 are not, and I did some sequins in here. And then along here I did, I think this was a cretin stitch, which you can't see because I've covered it up with sequins. But I'm pretty sure that was a cretin stitch with a lazy daisy on the points. And then this was a Y stitch that I did here, and I did some lazy daisies on the points here too, but that was a Y stitch originally. The main focus for this block, though, is this right here. This was the thing I bought. I found this when I was collecting stuff for this quilt, which is so much fun to you collect for like a year before you start on the quilt. It's just so much fun to collect the stuff. I had found this in an antique mall, And I don't know if you can, yeah, you should be able to see it. It's from Brussels. It was a fancy hanky from Brussels, and I don't know what this building is in, in Brussels, but I'm sure it's important. And so that would be Belgium. Anyway, it was ivory, I think, and I didn't really like. I just thought it was too stark for the quilt, and I also thought, I don't know, I just thought it would look better if I colored it. So I dyed it with, I think it was RIT, actually, the powder stuff that you put in water, and I think it's gray was the color I dyed it with. And then I put this little pink trim here, and then this also was white, and I hand dyed it some kind of brown. I don't remember. Anyway, and then I put some size 8 seed beads in there. You'll notice this right down here doesn't have a seed bead in it because when I sew the blocks together, it's going to cut that, so you don't want a bead there. It'll be in the way. So most of the fabric in this is just mostly my scraps. This is a damask table napkin that I hand dyed, and this is, I think, from a prom dress or something. Everything else on here is cotton except this, and this was actually, you see the ship and the whole nautical theme. This was England up here that I cut. Was a lady's headscarf, like how they used to wear back in the 60s and 70s. They wear the headscarves. This also came from an aunt of mine that's no longer with us. Anyway, and I thought, I'm never, ever, ever actually going to wear that as a headscarf, I'm not going to use it for its intended purpose. So, because of the travel theme, the nautical theme or whatever, I thought it would be perfect for this quilt. So that's what that is. So anyway, there is. Oh, and I also did some delicas, which is just a type of bead along here to just kind of accentuate this part, and also to kind of bring your eye to it. So yeah, I mean, you don't, it kind of flows this way. Everything does, but it just depends on how you look at things. Anyway, so that is block number 7, and for the next time, I've got this one we're going to do. This is block number 8. Let me see if I can get that out. There we go. And so this lady here, I just loved, and I love this sort of like shock of feather on her hat, and it kind of matches her cheeks a little bit. But that color is a little too bold for the rest of the quilt, so I didn't really match anything up to that. However, this piece of fabric I thought was perfect for her suit, and this one too. This piece of fabric kind of looks like the trim here, so yeah, so I won't go into any too much detail. I'll wait till I finish it and do the video for that. But this will be block number 8. She's going to be fun. I think I'm going to do a glove here or somewhere. This is obviously a very big and bold piece of fabric, so I'm probably going to put a nice piece of lace there or something. Anyway, so this will be block number 8. This was block number 7. And these are the previous blocks, which there's a video up on every one of these, and what I did and why, and all that kind of stuff, and a closer look at everything. I think this one might be my favorite, actually. I haven't decided, but anyway. So that's block number 7. Okay, and just real quickly, I also just wanted to kind of show some of the other kind of quilts that I do. So this is what you call redwork. And yeah, so I love to embroider. I just love to embroider. And so back in the turn of the century, although I guess there's not this century, but the one before, like around 1900, that era, this was really popular. And it kind of started out for kids, you know, like they were called penny squares. And people would get the squares and they already had the thing, the image printed on it. And then people would use it for their kids to stay busy. And, you know, so they would also learn their skills on how to embroider. Anyway, so it caught on, and the reason it was called redwork was because red was the only permanent dye at the time, like the only color fast dye. They called it turkey red. And but you will also find it's more rare, but you will find blue work and sometimes green work and black also. But red was definitely the most popular. So anyway, I love red work. This is, I think I've done like 4 red work quilts, I think. This is not quilted yet. I made this years ago. And so this is all feed sack, reproduction feed sack, except this one, this actually is feed sack. It was part of my grandmother's fabric. And then I don't think there's, I think that was the only one that wasn't reproduction. So yeah, pretty sure. Anyway, so little Kitten's doing all kinds of nifty things in this quilt, you know. Yeah, so I have done several red work. Bleh, I can't talk today. I've done, let's see, a Christmas one I did in forest green. I did all the embroidery in forest green. I did a Halloween one where it's all done in black. I did a snowman, huge snowman quilt that was originally done, like the pattern shows it in red, but I did it in blue. So yeah, this was my busy work before I discovered crazy quilts. That's how old this is. This is probably, I don't know, 12 years old, and I've just never gotten it. I've just never quilted it yet. But it's a crib size also. So yeah. So anyway, I got a string there I need to get rid of. So anyway, I just thought I would show you guys some of my other stuff. And this one was easy because it's small. You know, I could fit it on the table, where some of the other redwork quilts are actually full-size quilts and not very easy to show, you know, to get in the frame. So anyway, thanks for joining me and spending some time with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful new year and a wonderful new decade. And so join me next time for block number 8. Bye-bye.